Hi everyone, it's Bird Deneen here on behalf of MovieGameNostalgia.com. Hope you're all well. Please, this is a latest little special we're doing, and today we're going to do a special on a box set that's currently showing on Netflix, but you'll be able to see it on other streaming sites as well. And obviously, it's the phenomenon that goes by the name of The Witcher. So obviously, you may know this thing in one guise or the other over time. It's been done in various things. So this is just a little information about it and a little review at the end of what people are thinking and what I think of The Witcher, which I've been watching, which I've been watching over the last couple of days. Sort of tried to binge watch it, but had to have a break in between because of other things, obviously. So please push your subscribe button if you like these things and push the bell notification so you know when these reviews and poster reviews, board game reviews are all coming out. And all the links are below. And obviously, please check out all my various playlists for movies, films, box sets. And obviously a little football one as well, even to Manchester City, particularly. I do football vlogs on Manchester City. Anyway, this is about The Watcher, isn't about football. The Watcher, The Witcher, even. Never mind The Watcher, that's another film altogether, isn't it? So The Witcher, what have we got? Well, we've got books, we've got games, we've got TV, we've got movie adaptations, we've got everything else, really. It's a little bit about it. It's a fantasy series of novels and short stories written by the Polish author, and please forgive my pronunciation, Andrzej Sapkowski. I'll just call him Sapkowski from now on. The series revolves around the eponymous Witcher, Geralt of... I have to stop saying Watcher, also Witcher, Geralt of Rivia. In Sapkowski's works, witches are beast hunters who develop supernatural abilities at young age to battle wild beasts and monsters. The books have been adapted into film, television, video games, and graphic novels. The series of novels is known as the Witcher Saga. The Witcher short stories by the author Sapkowski were first published in Polish science fiction and fantasy magazine Fantastica, beginning in the mid-1980s, so it does date back quite a while. And it focuses on Geralt of Rivia and Ciri, a child of destiny. Ciri, princess of a recently conquered country and a pawn of international politics, becomes a witch in training. Geralt is drawn into a whirlwind of events in his attempts to protect her. From 1993 to 95, the stories were adapted into 6 comic books, so you can actually get the graphic novels of this as well. And on film, there was an attempt at making a film and also a TV series back in 2001, 2002, and it was called The Hexer. It wasn't called The Witcher, it was called The Hexer. Produced in Polish, so it's a Polish film. You may be able to get it on with subtitles, I'm not too sure. Directed by Marek Brodski and Michael Sabrowski, who played Geralt in these both the film and the TV series. In several interviews, he criticised the screen adaptations and actually commented, to quote him, "I can answer it only with a single word, an obscene, albeit a short one." So he wasn't very happy with it, and the reviews on Internet Movie Database are not very complimentary. But Hexer's out there. They want to still have a watch and have a look at that. It was also converted to a tabletop role-playing game by Fantasy Flights Games and scored an average of 6.5 out of 10 on Board Game Geek. So that looks pretty good if you want to have a go at that. Some people didn't like it. I looked at the review. Some people said it was rubbish, but other people liked it. But have a go yourself if you fancy playing the board game. There's also a couple of card games came out that rated quite high. Well, not highly. Again, up to 5, between 5.5 and 6 on Board Game Geek. So you can get the Witcher adventure card game. And of course, it's probably better known. I mean, my lad's obviously been a really big fan of The Witcher on video games. He plays it on the Xbox, but obviously it's on the PC and obviously the PS4 as well. And the video games, I think there's 2 or 3 at the moment. I think there may be another one coming out. Have been very successful as at middle of this year, 2019. So by August 2019, the video games had actually sold from over the formats over 40 million copies. So it's done extremely well. And now we've obviously now got The Witcher season 1, 8 episodes. We've now got the adaptation from Netflix, which it's classed as an action adventure drama. And basically, like the books, it's synopsis of it is Geralt of Rivia, a solitary monster hunter, struggles to find his place in a world where people often prove more wicked than the beast. Created by Lawrence Schmidt, stars Henry Cavill, or Cavell, how you pronounce it. I'm supposed to pronounce it, rhymes with travel, so Henry Cavill. Yeah, Henry Cavill. Freya Allen and Joey Batey. A dedicated lead actor we're having, Mr. Cavill, because obviously he's obviously best known for playing Clark Kent Superman in the DC extended universe, but he's played many roles since on TV and film since 2001. He was born on Jersey in the Channel Islands on May the 5th, 1983, Mr. Cavill, and he's always he's a keen advocate of the Witcher games. He plays the Witcher games on his PC, his preferred PC, rather than one of the game consoles. And he was always into the Witcher novels. So when this role came up, he was very keen, and he mired his agent to go and sort this out and get this role for him. And once he did land the role, he declined to use a stunt double as well for all the action scenes in the show. He was quoted as saying, "It is very important to me that when you see Geralt on screen, you know it's me and not some guy who can do the Geralt stuff, and I'm just the acting piece in it. For me, the character involves all of that." So he's pretty dedicated into the role. It's nice to see, isn't it? Cavill's training for the role consisted of extensive sword training, besides the rigorous bodybuilding required to prepare his physique for the camera. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's looking well on it, let's be honest about it. He was quoted as saying, "I spent all of my free time when I wasn't on set with a sword in my hand. It was getting used to the weight of the sword, using it day in, day out. I had 3 swords where I lived and 4 at work. It was just non-stop practice. Well, that's how you get better, isn't it? Practice. Indeed, Vladimir Furdik, the veteran stuntman and fight designer of such things as Game of Thrones, who ended up portraying the Night King on this hit show, praised Henry Cavill's fighting skills as the best he'd ever seen in his decades-long career. Well, the series, is it any good? Well, obviously, looking on IMDb, it's quite a strange one, actually. There is some negativity, but you're always going to get negativity for these things. But overall, the thought seems to be very positive. The individual episodes, 1 to 8, there's 8 episodes, score between 8.7 and 9.4 out of 10. But the actual season itself is actually coming out with a 9.5 out of 10 rating, which is pretty high. I've not seen many critics' reviews of it, but obviously that's the user reviews, which are really all that matters, aren't they? Let's be honest about it. Internet Movie Database user Cameron Ramity, he wrote this on the 20th of December and rated it 7 out of 10. And wrote, "For the most part, it was an enjoyable experience. I'm only going to talk about things I didn't like. Number 1, some of the side characters couldn't act if their lives depended on it. Number 2, screwed up timeline that confuses people. For people who see this know that at the beginning, everything is not happening at the same time. There are decades in between some of the things you see. So yeah, there's a time shift element to it. Number 3, I wanted more action, to be honest. I think they have to remove some nudity and replace it with action in season 2. Yeah, I mean, season 2 is due out in 2021, actually. I don't know why it's not due out in 2020. Might be an error on the dates there. I'm not too sure. It is just much more satisfying to see sword fights than a naked person. Well, not everyone would agree, but yeah, I agree. But this is an action adventure film. We don't just want to see naked people. There's not too much in it. It's not too bad at all. There's a little bit of nudity, but not too much. Some of the CGI was a little weak. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you my review in a minute. Anyway, this guy went on to conclude by saying, "All that being said, I really enjoyed this, and the second season will probably be a 10 out of 10 because the story is getting really good by the end of season 1. And as I said, season 2 is expected in 2021. I did a little review on this. I'll just quote from the review I did on movieGameNostalgia.com. "I can well understand where some of the negativity towards this comes from. It does lack the atmosphere and darkness of something like Game of Thrones. It flits from the occasional dark scene to light and sets that look like a medieval kingdom put up for tourists, and occasional CGI that looks like something hand-drawn with actors in the foreground. But I mean, overall, it's not too bad. I mean, there's a couple of scenes you think, oh, that doesn't look great. But it is what it is. The story is old as time, good versus evil, and some in between. Lost Kingdoms, magic, heroes and villains. Unfortunately, has 1 or 2 likable characters who are forced into various quests to survive just survive or for the money. And obviously, if you play the games, obviously it certainly follows a sort of similar line to the games as well. So if you're familiar with the games, Jaskier, played by Joey Bayton, a minstrel-type bard, supposed part-time jester, is my least favourite character, and I find him a little annoying. His role is to add a bit of humour into the serious world of our Witcher fella, Geralt, which was played pretty well by Henry Cavill. Sadly, the A Knight's Tale element of this relationship just bores it a little for me and is pretty much unfunny. Where is Paul Bettany when you need him, or even a Mark Addy as a quirky companion to our hero? Yeah, I was very disappointed. It does ruin it a little bit for me. He's just not grown on me, that character at the moment. I can see what they tried to do, but it doesn't really appeal to me. The female leads are fairly good, as all three do a good job. Freta Allen as Ciri, but more so both Mayanna Buring as Tisea and Anya Kalotra as Yennefer. Jodie May plays a reasonable warrior queen as well. It does dip occasionally, and the verbals at times get a wee bit slow and boring without moving the story on quickly enough. But thankfully, just as you start to consider checking your phone, something better happens to drag you back into the story. Based on that, any more than 8 episodes would have been a bit too much. A good addition to the fantasy on-screen genre, but as to be expected, will have its haters. And as I said, I'd give it a rating of 7 out of 10, which, if you know me, I'm pretty mean, which isn't a bad rating, 7 out of 10. And I do, as I said, I do like, there are bits of it that you go, oh yeah, it's really good. And then there are bits of it, yeah. So there's bits I really love and there's bits that are okay in it. So it is a bit of a mishmash, but it is well put together. And as I say, the dodgy CGI isn't too bad. There's 1 or 2 obvious scenes I can think of now. Forest scenes, etc., which do look a bit dubious to say the least. But it's a nice to say. It's not gay. I mean, obviously, if you think back to the early Games of Thrones, I mean, I loved all Games of Thrones. I even liked the final season. I even liked the ending of Game of Thrones, even though a lot of people didn't. And obviously, it doesn't compare with the atmosphere, perhaps, of Game of Thrones. It's a bit lighter, as I said, a bit Knight's Tale, but obviously without the humour. But there is, obviously they try and break up the witches' seriousness and what's going on in the world and all the various mages and witches, etc. The battles going on that grow as the series goes on. It does try and break that up a bit with a little bit of humour. But the guy they get to do it, the jester type guy, the bard, doesn't appeal to me at all. And obviously the songs he sings, etc. I mean, it just ruins it a little bit for me. And some of the verbals isn't quite as deep, and some of the sets to say a bit more. They look fake. They look like something out of Westworld, the medieval times sort of thing. They don't look as dark and as atmospheric as something like Game of Thrones. But it's a bit unfair to compare it to Game of Thrones. It's not really up to that standard. But as I said, it is a nice addition to that style of thing. So if you do like, if you're a big fan of the Witcher, you're probably, you might be disappointed. I don't know. I've never played the game. I've only obviously seen. I've watched my lad play it a couple of times. Play it for a few minutes at a time. I've watched him have a go at it, and it's sort of thing. I'm not really into the game side of things at the moment. I just can't. I'm not quick enough to keep up with them sort of things. When a fight starts out, I'm just too slow. I'm just, I need a bit more time. Anyway, that's The Witcher. Hope you enjoyed that little look at The Witcher, and please, what you think, if you watch it, give us a shout in the comments below what you think about it. As I said, I won't put anyone off watching it. I think it's a good fun and a good addition to that genre of miniseries. I do look forward to season 2. So yeah, please push the subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter at nostalgia_movie. I'm on Facebook at Bernard Deneen with links to moviegamenostalgia.com, my website. So please have a look around there and for DVDs, posters, and board games. So please have a look at that if you get a chance, and tell your friends and try and get them subscribed. The more the merrier. And I'll try and entertain and give you some information on here. Anyway, thanks for watching this Witcher special. I'll be back very soon. Whatever you're going to do with the rest of your day, have a good one. Look after yourself, look after your friends, and more importantly, look after your family. And I'll see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.